Energy flowing in a large cycle and away from us would not be detected unless that energy is redirected. And therefore to us there is no energy in that path. And this is what zero represents. For example, light travels in a larger cycle than us. And if it were to flow away from us, we would not be able to see the light until it is redirected by a wall, for example. When the energy changes direction away from the large energy cycle, it would flow in a smaller energy cycle and could then become detectable. If light changed direction enough, it could form mass, which has a smaller cycle. And at that point we would be able to see that energy. In any specific path, the first redirection of energy would be the first cycle. This first cycle is what we refer to as the number 1. If the specific path is the path of a cell, then the first cycle would be the first cell. When the energy continues in that specific path, it would form a second cycle, and therefore a second cell. And this is what the number 2 represents. The second cycle is smaller than the first one as it is closer to the large energy cycle. This goes back to the principle that energy leaving a large energy cycle would be less dense. But as it gets closer to the end of the cycle, the energy would be pulled much stronger, and therefore would get denser and flow in smaller cycles. We see this as the numbers continue to the end of the cycle. The number 9 is the most compressed number in the cycle. Now, even though the number 9 represents more quantity than the number 1, its significance among the set of numbers would be less than that of the number 1. When we have 9 objects, for example, the 9th object would always be of less significance than if we had 1 object only, even if it was the same object. The set of 9 numbers are all a group of one bigger cycle, and this is what the number 10 represents. The bigger cycle would continue in the same way as the smaller cycles, but they would be on a higher level. And this is what the 0 next to the numbers on the bigger cycle represents. And when this set is complete, another 0 would be added and a new cycle would start. Each cycle has a 0 point on its path. Entities would exist at that point, and the direction of the entities would determine their number.